All right, welcome to this daily Sidereal forecast for Tuesday, May 26th. My name is Athen. So today we have some more squares, obviously, this whole week. Very important with these square energies, which is about the constructive use and consciousness and taking actions that can certainly assist us in this time period, but we'll take that conscious effort to do so. The high point is going to be this Mars squaring up to Neptune. I think that's going to be the overall energy that we're still feeling. But one thing about today in particular is that Mercury is going within a 1-degree conjunction of Mars today and tomorrow. So this is where our minds and our, the masculine energy come together, even the ego comes together. So this can be a day of, that strong, perhaps irritability, perhaps ego identification. So it's very important that with this high mental energy that we have available, that we utilize it in a constructive way. And this would be good to channel it into work and things of this nature, but there is a lot of other things going on. We've got that Mars squaring up to Neptune. Neptune here is saying, look, to calm this stuff down, it's very important that we connect to the present moment, that we connect to compassion, that we have that tranquil time, and perhaps meditative time. But here, it takes the effort to do so, right? And this is also, a situation where sometimes we question our direction in life. So it's very important that we remain persistent, especially with all this energy in Taurus right now. We remain persistent, we remain long-term, and avoid caving into, any short-term sort of doubts and inhibitions and fears. This is first major test of this lunar cycle with the moon still squaring up to the sun. So we're coming up to this period now where as the week unfolds, we're getting closer and closer to illumination. We're understanding more and more through this process. And one of the things we're understanding is the Taurus element of the importance of that grounded energy, of connecting to the to Earth, which is our bodies. It's also our, wherewithal, our patience, and in this sense, our persistence. So take it slow, though. This is, it's important that we balance it. And as long as we do have that compassion and presence, then I think it's certainly very constructive. Now, Venus squaring up to Uranus, that's going to be waning today. But still in the early part, this is where we can perhaps feel that impatience. And it's very important for us to be flexible with our connections. And this can be with relationships. It can also be with our values, our enjoyments of life. Very patient, we don't want to make any sudden kind of things here, choices here. And be willing to have new experiences. And today in particular, I want to say this with the moon squaring up to Mercury and all this activity in Mercury and this whole trine up to Pluto, it's very important that I think today we will have strong feelings. I think today will be a day where we'll feel the emotions quite strongly. So it's very important that we communicate and we're open to sharing how we feel, especially with the relationship side of things, but also with ourselves as well. And I think in that way, it will facilitate this. And as you can see towards the evening time period, Venus then trines up to Chiron and then sextiles up to the moon in the evening time. So for the next, today and tomorrow, evening of today, there's definitely some healing taking place with, again, our connections, our values, our relationships, our enjoyments of life. So it's going through the motions, but I think through the motions of, having that, patience and keeping things nice and honest and real, especially communicating our feelings, communicating the truth about how we feel today, is going to be what's going to facilitate a lot of this perhaps healing and just overall rejuvenation that's going to be taking place tomorrow. So in the early morning time period, it's still very much like yesterday. The moon's going to be opposing up to Neptune, squaring up to Mercury. So here it's very important, having that observation of the feelings. But by midday, there's the support. We can certainly have that compassion. We can certainly have that truthfulness. And it's about communicating that and expressing that, especially because the moon is in Leo right now. So this is all about healthy self-expression today, finding that middle path with, being ourselves, expressing ourselves. And one thing that really anchors Leo, and one thing that this shares in common with this Uranus, is giving, focusing on giving. Even with Neptune, focusing on that compassion. All of that is supportive, but it may take coming out of our comfort zones a little bit. It may take coming out of our ego identification a little bit, but through that presence, I think that'll certainly be assisting this whole process. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. This is, of course, all dependent on our own personal charts, and most importantly, how we respond and utilize these transits right now. So it can be very constructive, very grounded. It can be a very good day for spiritual understanding, for spiritual insight, connecting to, again, our feelings, communicating that. Our relationships and other values can be very strong and very connected today as well. So when we do that, when we take that action, we have that conscious observation, then all's in flow with that. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.